My beloved child, there are moments in the flow of history when heaven seems to draw nearer to the earth, not to sow terror in the hearts of people, but to awaken souls that have slept too long in indifference. This is one of those seasons. I am calling you to open your spiritual eyes. For the world cannot continue walking forever on the same old path without facing the consequences of what has been sown. As it is written, everything hidden will be revealed, and every secret thing will be made known. Do not think that what is happening around you is merely a series of random disturbances. Behind the movements that human eyes can see, quiet works are being carried out in the unseen realm, where I am setting many things back into order according to my eternal purpose. Perhaps you have sensed within your heart a stirring that is difficult to name. There are days when you feel peace, yet at the same time you perceive an urgency. There are moments when you look at the world and realize that what was once called right is now being called wrong, and what was once known as wrong is being celebrated as truth. In times like these, I want you to remember the word I have spoken. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I have not called you to chase after the waves of the age. I have called you to stand firm in truth, even when truth becomes unpopular. Do not think that my setting you apart is a privilege for you to lift yourself above others. No, you have been set apart to become a light in the midst of darkness. A lamp is not lit to be placed under a basket, but to give light to the whole house. That is why, at times, you feel different. That is why, at times, you cannot fully blend into the things others consider normal. This does not mean you are better than they are. It simply means I have placed within your heart a longing that belongs more to my kingdom than to the things of this world. Remember the story of young Josiah, the king who was anointed while he was still very young. During the years when the people lived far from me, the book of the law had been forgotten in the temple. People still carried on their activities, still maintained the outward forms of religion, yet truth had been covered with dust. Then one day, the book was found. When its words were read aloud, Josiah's heart broke before me. He realized that the people had wandered far from my ways for a very long time without even knowing it. That realization became the beginning of a great revival. Do you see? Before restoration comes exposure. Before healing comes the recognition of the wound. I do not reveal what has been hidden in order to condemn, but to open the way for renewal. There are people around you carrying things in their hearts that they have never spoken aloud. There are truths that have been seen but are still kept behind the door of fear. I know those silent battles. I know the struggle between light and darkness within the human mind. But understand this, no one can forever keep hidden what I have decided to bring into the light. When my appointed time comes, even the strongest doors will open. As I spoke in the book of Daniel, he reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. Therefore, instead of allowing your heart to be swept away by speculation or curiosity, focus on what I am doing within you. What matters most is not who knows what about you, nor who may be holding some hidden secret. What matters is whether you are walking close to me. For when your soul is rightly positioned before me, no delay caused by human hands can stop what I have ordained for your life. What I have written in my book concerning you will not be erased by opposition, misunderstanding, or the silence of anyone. I know there were times when you wondered why you had to pass through seasons of loneliness. I know there were times when you felt like a traveler walking against the crowd. But look again at those I once used in Scripture. Noah built the ark when no one believed. Joseph held on to the dream when every circumstance seemed to deny it. Elijah stood alone on Mount Carmel before hundreds of false prophets. They were not called to dissolve into the crowd. They were called to remain faithful to my voice. And so are you. Do not be afraid when the world enters seasons of purification. A farmer must pull out the weeds so the harvest can grow. A refiner must pass the metal through fire in order to remove its impurities. I do not tear down to satisfy anger. I purify in order to prepare for new life. What does not belong to truth will gradually be exposed. What has been built on deception will not be able to stand forever. But those who build their lives upon me will be like a house built upon the rock. Though the rain falls, the floods rise, and the winds beat against it, it will not collapse. My beloved child, do not let the urgency of this age cause your heart to panic. Let it cause you to awaken. To be awake is not to live in fear. To be awake is to live with open eyes, with a heart sensitive to my voice, and with a life anchored firmly in my presence. I do not want you to know me only through the stories of others. I want you to walk with me yourself, to recognize my voice yourself, and to experience my faithfulness yourself. Therefore today, I call you closer once again. Lay down the things that have made your soul heavy. Let my light shine into every hidden corner of your heart. Allow me to remove what no longer belongs to the new season I am preparing. And when many things around you begin to shake, remember that I do not change. When what was built on sand begins to fall, my promise will still stand firm. When darkness tries to cover the world, my light will still shine brightly. As it is written, the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. Do not fall asleep in this hour. Rise up, stay awake, and keep your heart close to me. For those who seek me will not be abandoned. Those who listen to me will receive guidance. And those who faithfully walk with me will see my glory revealed at the appointed time I established before the foundation of the world. My beloved child, there are times when I allow you to walk through the mist, not to confuse you, but to train within you eyes that know how to seek me before seeking answers. There are things I have not yet hurried to reveal, not because I desire to hide them from you forever, but because I know your soul needs to grow deep enough, steady enough, and quiet enough so that when the truth is opened, you will not be shattered by fear, nor become proud because of knowledge. As it is written in Ecclesiastes, God has made everything beautiful in its time, and you must understand that even my silence has its appointed time, and even my revelation has its ordained season. I have seen the years you endured in silence, the times you wondered why you could not merge with the common current, the moments when you tried to smile among the crowd while deep within you still heard another call. You are not strange in my eyes. You have not wandered outside of my plan. That very difference is the mark I have placed upon you, reminding you that you were not formed merely to run after the noise of this age, but to stand firm like a lamp lit in the midst of darkness. Therefore, do not despise the seasons when you feel set apart. Many times, that place which seems lonely is actually the sacred classroom I use to teach you the difference between a true calling and a false echo. You once wanted everything to become clear immediately, but if I had placed the whole picture before you while your heart was still trembling, you might have carried the truth as a burden rather than as a key. Now, I am bringing you closer to the deeper and more hidden part of your journey, not to make you afraid, but to awaken you, not to make you suspicious of everyone, but so that you will no longer be deceived by beautiful garments that conceal wrong motives. Have I not said, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, and nothing hidden that will not be made known? Let those words enter your heart like the dawn, never harsh enough to wound you, yet bright enough that you no longer walk in confusion. But my beloved child, when I open your eyes, do not allow your heart to become hardened. Revelation is not given so that you may judge others with pride, but so that you may walk in wisdom, humility, and purity. If you see what others do not yet see, Pray more than you speak. If you discern what is operating behind a circumstance, draw nearer to me rather than rushing to react. James taught, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all without finding fault. Therefore, ask me for wisdom that is free from bitterness, courage that is free from recklessness, and discernment that never loses mercy. For the one to whom I entrust light must learn how to carry that light with clean hands. There are truths that cannot be carried by a wounded ego. There are secrets that are only safe within the heart of one who knows how to love, even after fully understanding. I know that you have walked through many experiences that have left you no longer as naive as before. There were relationships that wounded you, doors that closed without explanation, and seasons when you felt misunderstood, even though your heart never desired to harm anyone. Yet I tell you this, not a single tear has been forgotten in my treasury. Those very experiences have deepened your soul. Those nights when you were driven to pray in the darkness have made your ears more sensitive to my voice. Those wounds you once considered a source of shame have become the very places where I have poured the oil of healing and discernment. You are no longer a child, easily swept away by every pleasant word. You are learning to stand upon the rock. And as Jesus said, "The one who builds his house upon the rock will remain standing when the rain falls. The floods rise, and the winds blow against it." That is the kind of firm foundation I am establishing within you. So, when the season of unveiling arrives, do not be afraid if some things you once believed must be reconsidered. Do not grieve if I remove from your hands things that no longer belong to you. Do not resist when my light reveals a path different from the one you had planned. The Holy Spirit is the one who leads you into all truth, and He does not lead you through confusion, but through a deep and abiding peace. You will discover that my voice is not always loud, yet it always carries weight. You will discover that my warnings do not come to paralyze you, but to protect the precious things I have planted within you. You will come to understand that not everyone who leaves is a loss. Not every closed door is a punishment, and not every delay is a rejection. Many times, it is simply my hand rearranging your path so that you do not walk into a place that appears bright on the surface, yet ends in darkness. Prepare your heart in stillness. My child, let prayer become your breath, obedience become the rhythm of your steps, and purity of heart become the garment you wear each day. Do not seek revelation merely to satisfy curiosity. Seek me, and what needs to be known will be revealed at the proper time. Do not chase after voices that stir fear within you, nor close your ears to my gentle reminders. You are called to be a watchman at the gate of your own heart, one who can stand in the midst of chaos without losing peace, one who carries truth without letting go of love. I have not brought you through so many trials only for you to stop at this threshold. Keep moving forward, for light is opening before you. And as you go, remember this: I do not only give you truth, I also give you the grace to live worthy of that truth. My beloved child, do not try to avoid those moments when I bring my light into the deepest places of your heart. What many people call discomfort is often the very beginning of healing. A room that has been closed for a long time will stir up dust when its doors are opened. A wound that has been covered for too long may ache when it is finally cleansed. Yet, without such a process, new life cannot emerge. Therefore, when I show you things that need to change, do not interpret it as my rejection of you. It is proof that I am still patiently at work in your life. As it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. True freedom does not come from hiding the condition of your soul. It comes from having the courage to allow me to touch the places you once tried to shield from the light. There are seasons when I allow hidden things to be brought before your eyes, not to make you disappointed in people, but so that you will no longer build your life upon what is fragile. There were times when you believed certain people would always walk beside you. There were times when you thought some doors would remain open forever. But time and my light have a way of making all things clear. What is built upon sincerity will endure. What is constructed upon selfish motives will eventually collapse under its own weight. Therefore, if you see some people gradually leaving your journey, do not be too quick to grieve. Sometimes it is not a loss but a release. I am clearing the path before you so that you may walk more freely into what I have prepared for you. Remember the story of Gideon. When I called him to deliver the people of Israel, the first thing I did was not increase the size of his army. On the contrary, I continually reduced it. From tens of thousands, only 300 remained. To human reasoning, that appeared to be weakness. But in my way of doing things, it was purification. I wanted Gideon to understand that victory does not come from numbers. It comes from my presence. You are passing through a similar process. Certain relationships, connections, and things that once made you feel secure are being sifted. Not because I desire to take away your joy, but because I desire to remove whatever causes you to depend more upon human strength than upon me. Do not be surprised if you begin to see the true nature of the people around you. Light possesses a unique quality. It does not argue with darkness, it simply appears. And darkness retreats. As I cause my light to grow within you, the hidden things within people's hearts will gradually reveal themselves through their words, their attitudes, and the way they respond to your presence. Some will rejoice in what I am doing. Some will be encouraged. Yet others may feel uneasy even though you have done nothing against them. This is because light often makes it difficult for what has been concealed to remain hidden. Even so, I do not want you to respond with judgment. Keep your heart tender. Remember that the purpose of light is not to condemn, but to guide the way. My beloved child, I know there have been times when betrayal wounded you more deeply than any adversity ever could. Wounds inflicted by strangers often heal quickly, but wounds inflicted by those you love can linger for a very long time. Yet do not allow those memories to become a wall that keeps me from entering your heart. Look at the life of David. Before he ever sat upon the throne, he was misunderstood, pursued, and hurt by those closest to him. Yet in the midst of all those trials, he could still pray, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." David's strength was not found in the fact that he had never been wounded. His strength was found in the fact that he refused to let his wounds steal away his trust in me. I am teaching you a new kind of discernment, not suspicion toward people, but spiritual wisdom. There are some individuals whom I send to strengthen and encourage you. There are others whom I allow to enter your life in order to teach you a lesson. And there are some who are meant to be only a brief part of your journey. As you draw closer to me, you will no longer need to run everywhere seeking validation. My spirit will gradually guide your heart. As it is written, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way, walk in it." I do not leave you in uncertainty. I guide the steps of those who sincerely seek me. Therefore, when truth appears, in whatever form it may come, do not turn your face away. If it is something I am teaching you about yourself, receive it. If it is a reminder that your direction needs to change, listen carefully. If it is a new door opening before you, step forward in faith. I do not reveal things merely so that you may gain more information. I reveal them so that you may be transformed. Every true revelation leads to growth. Every genuine light leads to a new step forward. Now you are entering a season in which I want you to lift up your head and look beyond your old fears. The prayers you once offered through tears have never disappeared. Not a single sigh has been forgotten. Not one cry from your heart has fallen to the ground in vain. In the book of Revelation, the prayers of my people are described as a fragrant incense contained in golden bowls before my throne. That means I still remember, I am still at work, and at my appointed time, the things that seem to have been sleeping will be awakened once again. Therefore, my beloved child, do not return to delay any longer. Do not live as one who does not know to whom he belongs. You were not created to wander in confusion. You were created with a purpose. You were called to walk in the light. Keep your spiritual eyes open. Allow your heart to be guided by truth rather than fear. Continue forward with the courage I am placing within your soul today. For when you know that you belong to me, when you understand the value I have placed upon your life, no darkness will be able to keep you bound in old chains any longer. You will move forward with peace, with discernment, and with the confidence that the one who began a good work in you is also the one who will bring it to completion until the perfect day. My beloved child, there are times when you look back upon the road you have traveled and wonder why so many things that once seemed certain suddenly slipped from your hands. There were people who promised to walk beside you, yet quietly drifted away. There were opportunities that appeared to have been opened by my own hand, only to close before you could step through them. In those moments, your heart may be tempted to believe that I have forgotten you or that your life has lost its direction. But today I want you to know that not every closed door is a failure, and not every separation is a loss. Many times, what you call a brokenness is actually my hand, protecting you from things that you do not yet have the perspective to understand. I see the invisible cords that once sought to entangle your steps. They do not always appear in the form of obvious evil. Sometimes they come wrapped in attractive appearances. Sometimes they arrive through appealing promises, seemingly reasonable choices, or relationships that make you feel understood. But not everything that feels pleasant leads to life. There are paths that seem right to human understanding, yet in the end, they lead to destruction. That is why I have pulled you back many times, not to restrict you, but to preserve the future I prepared long ago for your life. Remember the story of Balaam. He believed he was moving in the right direction because opportunity and reward appeared to lie ahead of him. Yet what he could not see, his donkey could. My angel stood in the path before him, and that very obstruction saved him from disaster. Do you see? Many times what you call an obstacle is actually mercy. Many times delay is protection. Many times not receiving what you desire is my way of keeping you from a road you would later regret taking. Therefore, instead of only asking me why a door has closed, learn to ask me what I am protecting you from. There are seasons when I do not lead you out of the wilderness immediately. I allow you to remain there for a time because in that dry place, you will learn things that prosperous days could never teach. The people of Israel passed through the wilderness before entering the promised land. David endured lonely caves before sitting upon the throne. Even Jesus was led into the wilderness before stepping into his public ministry. Do not confuse delay with abandonment. The place of preparation often looks very much like the place of waiting. Yet, in my eyes, every single day spent there carries purpose and meaning. I know that at times you feel something stirring deep within your soul. It is not fear, but an invitation. It is not meaningless anxiety, but the gentle prompting of the Holy Spirit. There are nights when you find yourself restless. There are moments when you sense that you can no longer continue living as you once did. Do not rush to silence those impressions. Many times, I speak to you not through dramatic displays, but through a gentle reminder within your heart. When the prophet Elijah sought me, he did not find me in the windstorm, the earthquake, or the fire. I came through a still, small voice. And today, I am still speaking to you in the same way. My beloved child, what I am doing in your life is not destruction, but divine rearrangement. A gardener must prune away unfruitful branches so that the tree may grow stronger and bear more fruit. A potter must sometimes break down an old form in order to reshape the vessel according to a better purpose. When I remove something from your life, do not be quick to conclude that I am working against you. Remember that I see the entire picture while you see only a small part of it. What I am doing today is often understood clearly only years later. Therefore, this is not a season for you to fall asleep in hesitation. I am calling you to step out of your comfort zone, not through the recklessness of the flesh, but through trust in me. Faith is not knowing every answer in advance. Faith is continuing to walk even when you cannot yet see the whole path. Just as Abraham left his homeland without knowing exactly where he was going, you too are being invited to follow my leading one day at a time. Every step of obedience will open the way for the next. I do not want you to remain bound by old regrets or new fears. What lies ahead of you is far greater than what lies behind you. There are prayers you once offered through tears that I am still holding before me. There are seeds you planted in faith whose harvest is closer than you realize. As it is written, let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not give up. Do not measure my work solely by what your eyes can see in the present moment. And when I open new doors before you, you will realize that the very things that once caused you pain were actually preparing you for that moment. The lessons learned through disappointment will become wisdom. The tears you shed will become a source of comfort for others. The seasons of waiting will become the foundation of maturity. Nothing that I have allowed in your life has been wasted. I am weaving it all together into a story far greater than you can understand today. Therefore, my beloved child, lift up your head. Do not look at the future through the eyes of anxiety, but through the eyes of hope. Do not view the present shakings as signs of failure, but as the movement of my hand preparing a new chapter. Walk forward with courage. Hold firmly to the peace that I give. Continue moving ahead, even if your steps still tremble. For I have gone before you on that road. I am the one who makes a way, and I am also the one who preserves and sustains you. And when you choose to answer my call with the words, I am willing, you will discover that my grace is always sufficient for every step of the journey that lies ahead.